access that information.
I know. And then when I found
and then you found it was all a crock, and it was all Francis, and then you screw this.
I know.
But
I would do that for about 2 weeks, and then I would pick it up, and I think, maybe it can be different.
So you somehow, something inside of you knew that there was,
Yeah.
I need to go through this and find out what the hell's real.
I had that happen to me one night. I'll never forget it. I was so disgusted with this whole thing, and I thought, everybody's telling me just put the things away. Why are you doing this? You're jerking around with these lower astral and people, and they're just liars and screwed up. And I laid there in bed, and I thought, why do I do this? And I had this thing happen to me, and one of those things you really can't put into words, but it was like I knew there was something I had to do, and I couldn't put it aside. And from then on, I stopped trying. And it's been a circuitous path, but finally, one thing, it was like the onion, opening, trying to get to the heart of what all this layers of stuff was.
Now, in terms of reverse speech, what are the best techniques, and why is it important to listen to white noise?
White noise is important for EVP. If you want to listen to spirit people, I'll give you a clue right here, anybody who's listening. If you get on there and ask to speak to your grandmother or your uncle, and you go out to a cemetery, or you just say, I want to talk to spirits, you're going to get a reptilian right now. Guaranteed. You will be talking to reptilians, and they will be jerking you around. What I would suggest, if anybody is really wanting to talk to people, go to a public place, a mall, an airport, a cafe, where there's ambient voices, not too loud, but there's hum of human voice in the background. And then tell the astral people what you have heard me say. Their lives are horrible, that they are hunted for food, and that this thing is going to end. It's not right what's happening to them. They will talk to you. They will really work hard. They're not allowed to. It's illegal over there now to talk into a recorder. So they will do it, but they have to be very careful.
And what are the best reverse techniques for asking yourself questions so that you can get to the truth of yourself?
Well, you need a recorder and you need software. I use SoundForge, but there are other recorders that have reverse on them. But you need to be able to slow it down because it's very fast. And you also need to be able to do something they call trim crop, or isolate a small phrase and then fill the screen and slow it down so that you can see subtle words, and you just have to have a lot of patience and a lot of time and work it, just work at it.
When you're listening to crowds, what has that shown you?
The EVP, the spirit people, as I said, need a carrier wave in order to have a voice. If you give them just white noise, like shh, they will make words in that, but it's not easy to understand. But I have found that human voices in the background, they will take that human voice and they will speak to you. And they will address what you're saying. They might even call you by name. And you'll know you're being spoken to by somebody who's, it's not a human, physical, it's human, it's non-physical human.
You've listened to news broadcasters in reverse, and sometimes you've heard them make direct reference to you.
Yeah.
What is that like? Give me a for instance.
They'll say Peggy is listening, or the girl who listens in reverse, or usually they'll use my name, and that always catches my attention. Now, that being said, this is the universal mind, and anybody who's doing this, they're not going to hear my name. They're going to start to hear their name because they're the one listening. And that universal mind knows this reverse speech part of the mind is connected to all minds. So because I'm listening, I'm hearing Peggy, but somebody else is going to start listening and hearing references to themselves. It's very weird at first.
What types of people have you reversed, Peggy?
All kinds of politicians, because they're making the decisions that affect everybody's life. Lots of people in the UFO field, in the metaphysical field,